Good afternoon, everyone. It's March 28th, 2019. I'm Eric. We're going to hit some of these headlines here on the Free Thought Project, and then we're going to hit 3 articles. We won't read the entire articles, but we will hit some of the key points and tie them all together. So there's a bombshell lawsuit that claims the FBI knowingly hid evidence from Congress of explosives used on 9/11. Another time, conspiracy theorists were right. Now, listen to this disgusting line of shit. Cop left toddler in hot patrol car until she died as she had sex in fellow cop's house. Isn't that a crime? And yet, these people who are supposed to be the guardians of law and order, they do some of the most despicable shit to people. For example, despite video of them torturing handcuffed man and charged for it, 2 cops get paid vacation for months. Your tax dollars hard at work. New York County declares state of emergency, bans all unvaccinated kids from all public spaces. Isn't that just freedom for you? Disturbing video shows cops shoot unarmed man in the back over a seatbelt violation. "17 cops raid 4-year-old boy's birthday party by mistake, terrorize family, and destroy their home. Will there be any accountability? Fuck no." Now, this next one is just fucked up, like all the others, but nonetheless, it was done. Cop fired for feeding homeless man literal shit sandwich gets his fucking job back. And I can't even get my job back for getting busted 2 years ago with some weed. After already being sentenced to that same shit. But I digress. Was there something over here? I think so. We already knew that Obama's birth certificate was bullshit. Oh, here's one for you. Pennsylvania Muslim lawmaker. Can you believe that shit? That's how far we've slipped in America. Not only do we have our own people, the pigs they are up there fucking us over, but now we have Muslims as lawmakers fucking us over. And saying prayer in the name of Jesus is now Islamophobic. What a bunch of shit. And I don't have a dog in that fight either, by the way. This next one is going to tie into the articles that I have pulled up here. Just before the Great Recession, mountains of unsold goods piled up in U.S. warehouses, and now it's happening again. Now, if only shit would hit the fan now. And leave quite a few resources for the survivors. But, and this is where I guess I will transition into the articles. When economic conditions initially begin to slow down, businesses continue to order goods like they normally would, but those goods don't sell as quickly as they normally would. So, scientists are beginning to teach AI to evolve and reproduce. And this is to the average person's detriment. And this is a Max Slavo piece here. Evolutionary roboticists have decided to begin teaching artificial intelligence-powered robots to evolve and reproduce. Why should humans go to the trouble of building more robots when a robot could do it instead? See, those robot building jobs gone. According to futurism, this is known as high-tech Darwinism. The researchers' ultimate goal is to design artificial intelligence and robots that can analyze their own source code and mate with others by combining bits and pieces of their code with that of other robots. You know, Futurama did a episode where Bender was the dad. I'm sure any of you who watched that show saw it. Exactly the same thing right there. This would, to create offspring, he wrote that sentence very awkwardly. This would allow them to create offspring much like organic life, futurism reported. But it isn't actually anything like organic life, actually. But evolutionary roboticists who have this new goal have high-tech Darwinism to the extreme. Apparently, just like biological life evolves to fill ecological niches, these robots' offspring might be better adapted to their environments that their architects specifically built for them. So they're going to allow these robots to reproduce. They're going to have access to their source code, which means any safeguards they put into the source code will be available to the robot. And if you think jobs are being lost now, well, just wait until you see that. Until these robots start reproducing, we're going to continue to lose jobs to these machines. So, and it will only hasten our demise as a species. Economic distress, consumer confidence plunges in March, and that is a big deal. Another Max Slavo piece. Consumer confidence plummeted in March, shocking the mainstream media. But to those who have been following the economy, this wasn't as shocking as some pundits are declaring. According to Investing, consumer confidence is at a 16-month low, although this isn't that surprising as wages remain stagnant, elections go on the rise, and Americans default on their record levels of consumer debt, whether the average consumer is just overburdened with their already immense debt load or they have decided to begin saving instead of spending. This is not a positive sign for the economy. U.S. economic growth has already slowed beginning toward the end of 2018. The start of 2019 appeared to be off to a weak one too. Financial markets have focused on the slowdown in the broader global economy, particularly in China and Europe, while ongoing trade tensions between Washington and Beijing add to concerns. They say that it's been consumer confidence, that is, has been volatile over the last few months, and it's just going to keep getting worse. Let's see here. We had a very weak February jobs report. Lynn Franco, Director of Economic Indicators at the Conference Board, said in the report, and the government's report shows 20,000 jobs were created in February, which was not enough. And then we have an eviction crisis that parallels the subprime mortgage crisis of the Great Recession. More and more people, working people, are becoming homeless because a lot of the places like California and New York, those people who can afford the tank of gas or how many ever it takes in their particular vehicle, they're jumping ship. They're coming to places like where I live. Believe me, I know. I see lots of New York license plates around here. Florida. Not a lot of California, though. I'm guessing that they go to Texas. So these, I kind of got sidetracked, but these people moving in, they're causing higher demand on rents, and as a result of that, rent is going up and wages continue to remain stagnant. And it makes working people, you know, the average person, it makes it very difficult for them to pay rent. Now, we've been looking to move out of this place, and we've been kind of stuck here. A 3-bedroom, 1-bath is around $1,000 here, which we could swing that. We could. But the thing is then you have the $1,000 deposit. And then if you have pets, a lot of these motherfuckers want to charge you a pet deposit too. That's non-refundable. So, you know, it makes it very difficult to survive in our current paradigm. That's why a lot of people want shit to hit the fan, because they know it will be easier for them to survive in that type of environment than this current one. Yes, it will be dangerous. Yes, there will be hardships. Yes, there will be death. Yes, there will be lots of crazy shit that happens, undoubtedly. But for the people who have been let down by the system, who frankly have difficulty functioning within this system, they will be the ones that do well, while the people who've depended on the system in many different ways, they will ultimately suffer the most, in my opinion. But these problems right here, yeah, they're bad. They're bad right now. But as soon as these robots are capable of reproducing themselves, it's a wrap. It's done. And I don't see it taking that long, if it hasn't already happened. Let's see, I think there was a couple more over here. Former congressman asked why Obama doesn't have a valid Social Security number and IDs. Former Hillary Clinton associate claims to have been her personal hitman, admits to killing for money, and that is, of course, Larry Nichols. And you might know, or you might not know, this guy here is suffering a particularly prolonged and gruesome death. I wonder why. But he says, they sent me overseas to kill people for them and told me it was for the good of the country. So when they asked me to do it for them in the States, it felt no different. The real truth is, I did it for money, and I didn't give a shit about the women I beat and the men I murdered. The Clintons are bad people, and I did bad things for them. I have to live with that, I've had to live with that all these years, and now I just don't care anymore who knows it. Pretty fucked up. Egyptian media, Barack Obama is a member of the Muslim Brotherhood. In an interview with the news agency Anatolia in Turkey, Saad al-Shader, the son of imprisoned Muslim Brotherhood leader Karat al-Shader, said his father had in his hand evidence that will put Obama in prison. National Weather Service warning. Apocalyptic Midwest floods are a preview of what we expect throughout the rest of spring. Flooding that just struck the middle part of the country was the worst blow to U.S. farmers in decades. And now the National Weather Service says that this is just a preview of things to come. And that means major food hikes, price hikes in the near future. Apparently, he did not act alone, old Jesse Smollett, and sources say they go all the way back to Obama. Internet lashes out at cops after they arrest hero for stopping the rape of a 5-year-old boy. And this happened in Eastlake, Ohio. New York Times tries to shift the blame onto all of us for the Russia hoax. I mean, it never ever fucking ends, does it? It's just more and more and more. But let's see what happened with this. Let's see why this guy who saved a boy from being raped was arrested. If my computer cooperates with me. There we go. Alright, so the internet is raging with anger this week, and police are feeling the heat over the arrest of Richard Adams. Adams was arrested and charged with felonious assault over the weekend when he physically attacked a 17-year-old who he allegedly caught raping a 5-year-old boy. According to police, Adams walked into the living room of the home and saw the 17-year-old on top of the child with the child's pants around his ankles. I would call that unjustified. Adams said he immediately yelled for someone to call the police, but felt compelled to step in and stop what he saw was going on. And he should have. He did the right thing. See, that's exactly what the point I made the other day when I said if Jesus were to come back, the very same thing would happen to him. And if you try to live by his preachings, you will be killed. You will be caged. Luckily for most of the so-called Christians in the United States, they are more state worshipers than they are actually followers of Jesus. He says, I didn't just call the cops and let it pursue. I stepped into action and stopped it. According to News 5 Cleveland, Adams said he couldn't stop from physically ending the assault because it hit close to home. He said that he had an experience similar to the 5-year-old when he was a child. His uncle told News 5 that Adams blacked out after remembering the time when he was molested as a child too, and continued his assault. Adams agreed that this is what happened, but says he shouldn't be arrested for it. And I agree. He shouldn't be arrested for it. I mean, he caught the motherfucker in the act. And it is the right of the people to use force in defense of themselves or others. And that's exactly what he did. He said, I don't feel like I should have been arrested in this situation. I feel like if you're stopping a crime, that you should be able to walk free from helping someone who could not protect themselves in this situation. And he's 100% correct. Indeed, he is correct by any moral standards. You see, we don't have any moral standards. We don't. If we allow the police to lock up people for saving others, there will be no one to save anyone else. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Hopefully the charges end up getting dropped against him. He deserves to walk away from that. Don't you agree? So as you can see, there's no shortage of bad news. It's all over the place. All over. And I don't suspect that it's going to stop anytime soon. Here's something good that happened. Green New Deal goes down in Senate vote. Dems who supported it vote present. They didn't even support that bitch. And probably because they wanted to be reelected. So, anyway. I thought I would, wait a minute. Let's check this out here. 8 historic cases that show the FBI and CIA were out of control long before Russiagate. John Miltimore and Carrie Wedler. Let's get down to it. If they did it. Okay, yeah. Okay. Number 1, that time the CIA considered bombing Miami and blaming it on Castro. We remember that, don't we? Yeah. Number 2, in 2014, the CIA was caught red-handed spying on the Senate Intelligence Committee. This is why these agencies need to be shut down completely. All of them. You want safe borders? Here's an idea for you. Get your AR-15, your four-wheeler, and some buddies, and their ARs and four-wheelers, and you go out there and patrol the border, if you're so concerned with it. Number 3, this FBI suicide letter to MLK and his wife. And these documents, by the way, can be found on Black Vault. I've read a lot of them. Number 4, the CIA forced prisoners to participate in mind control experiments in the 1950s. Oh, so what? They're just prisoners. They may be, but they're still humans who have rights. Number 5, the FBI's Systemic Forensics Fraud and Crime Labs. In the early 1990s, I didn't know about this, Dr. Frederick Whitehurst, an attorney and chemist who worked at the FBI as a supervisory special agent, noticed troubling practices in the Burroughs Investigation Laboratory. Enough said. Here's some more information on that. As a result of that, the DOJ agreed to conduct yet another review of hair cases in collaboration with the Innocence Project and the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers. 3,000 cases were identified by the government that had used microscopic hair analysis from FBI examiners. 500 had been reviewed as of March 2015, 268 included pro-prosecution testimony from FBI examiners, and 257, or 96%, contained erroneous statements from FBI experts. And you gotta wonder how many people are in prison right now, rotting away behind fraudulent lab work. Number 6, Operation Midnight Climax, drugging unsuspecting Johns and filming their interactions with prostitutes. And this was back in the 60s when they were dosing people with LSD and all the other stuff. Seven, the FBI has routinely staged acts of terrorism. In the wake of 9/11, the FBI has on numerous occasions targeted unstable and mentally ill individuals, sending informants to bait them into committing terror attacks. Before these individuals can actually carry out the attacks, however, the Bureau intervenes, presenting the foiled plot to the public as a successfully thwarted attack. In 2011, journalist Glenn Greenwald summarized several examples of this deceitful tactic. The FBI subjected 19-year-old Somali-American Mohammed Osman Muhammad to months of encouragement, support, and money, and convinced him to detonate a bomb at a crowded Christmas event in Portland, Oregon, only to arrest him at the last moment and then issue a press release boasting of its success. In late 2009, the FBI persuaded and enabled Assam Mar Hussein Smadi, a 19-year-old Jordanian citizen, to place a fake bomb at a Dallas skyscraper and separately convince, Farouk Ahmed, a 34-year-old naturalized American citizen born in Pakistan, to bomb the Washington Metro. Number 8. The CIA's media manipulation campaigns. From the agency's earliest days, it has attempted to control the flow of information to the public. In his book, Legacy of Ashes, A History of the CIA, former New York Times journalist Tim Weiner documented how much influence the agency's first civilian director, Alan Dulles, had among major media companies. And it says that Dulles kept in close touch with the men who ran the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the nation's leading weekly magazine. He could pick up the phone and edit a breaking story, make sure an irritating foreign correspondent was yanked from the field, or hire the service of men such as Times Berlin bureau chief and Newsweek's man in Tokyo. So they've been, hard at work deceiving you, deceiving our parents, grandparents, and probably their parents as well. And dumbass motherfucking dupes believe what they tell them, hook, line, and sinker. But conspiracy theorist. Till next time, kill the state, live free.